Hello guys and welcome to News of the Week. Who are you going to be voting for in the general election? I say general election because actually what they've decided to do this year is line Simon Harris, Micheál Martin, Mary Lou MacDonald and Jerry the Monk Hutch up against the wall. Get them a big hard on each, and whoever holds it the longest basically gets to run the country. It's actually very worrying. It's a threat to our democracy. Everybody says Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil. We've had the same thing 100 years. It's time for a change. But they never mention what happened in that 100 years. What happened in that 100 years, if you're from abroad or if you've been living under a rock, is that our parents went from shitting in fields, riddled with polio, eating porridge 3 times a day, to buying their fucking kids an Argos trampoline for their Holy Communion. Like, it's gone really well. So maybe actually the same old is fucking just fine. And I know what you're going to say. The housing, we need houses. Just buy a house. It's not that hard. I know houses are expensive, but what you should do is just get your dad to give you something from his Southside portfolio at a knockdown price or for free. You can still enjoy life. And if you're going to tell me this red herring, this whataboutery of, oh, my dad doesn't have a Southside portfolio, then you've just admitted that your dad and your mum emerged from the greatest time of economic prosperity of all time, the Celtic Tiger, with nothing. So you just got shit genes. No political party can help you if you just simply have shit genes. This is my impression of your dad during the 1990s in Ireland, right? This is what he was doing full time. And then he did a bit of this as well. And then he did a bit of this. And he did a lot of this. Jez, that's a lovely point. So just don't be looking to Simon Harris to help you. I actually find it quite humiliating when people do that. Obviously, I enjoy people making Simon Harris feel uncomfortable. That's beyond question.
Speak to you, that's all. No, I speak to you. You're doing it again. No, I speak to you, that's all. May I speak? Of course you can speak. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I pay tax, and this is what I'm justified to these guards. Okay. And this is the police. This is the guards that are supposed to mind our land, and they have a problem with a table.
This country has to have a proper reform in the banking system. That's what I'm asking for.
May I reply? Thank you so much.
And I love the fact that they know the only time they can really get away with it is when an election's coming up, because any other time you tell you to go fuck right off, and rightly so. But you should feel embarrassed to ask a politician for help. Politicians aren't there to help you. They're there to fuck you up.
What you're hired for is to help us. Does that seem clear to you? To help us, not to fuck us up.
Simon Harris has been running under the label of a new energy. That's his slogan. And so he used that new energy to energetically gaslight a disabled disability worker.
We were ignored.
No, that's not.
Yes, we were. Yes, we were.
Okay, we can take it.
And the disability sector is a joke. You've done nothing for us. Our people are suffering. I'm very passionate about my job.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about disability too.
But there's been no mention in the budget whatsoever. You ignored them. You ignored the
No,
carers.
that's not true to say that.
Yes, you do.
That's
It
true.
has not been mentioned.
That's not-
Keep shaking hands, pretend
No,
you're a
but if
good
you-
man. You're not a good man.
Okay, well, if you don't think I'm a
Because
good
we
man,
don't
thank
care about them.
And he does all this while causing criminal damage to a chewit stand in a small business. This handshake was non-consensual as well.
It has not been mentioned.
And this has just been a dreadful clip of him. And he's apologised for it.
I was in Kanturk last night at the end of a very long day, and I want to say I didn't give her the time that I should have given her.
And he goes, oh, it was at the end of the long day. What happened to your new energy? Thought you had a load of energy. The logic of voting for Jerry Hutch is probably that, I mean, almost definitionally, if you keep him occupied by giving him a job, the crime rate will go down. You get these young people approaching politicians and they're cosplaying as adults.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we're going to reduce the fees for college a little bit more.
I'm not going to reduce the fees, I'm going to abolish them.
That's a great idea. Lovely to meet you, mate.
Thank you so much, sir. I've already reduced them, as you know, from 3,000
Yes,
to 2,000
yes.
2 years in a row.
Yeah.
But I want to phase them out with cost just under 300.
You know, they're going, what are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about that? You don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about. And these politicians have to humour them because everybody gets a vote. Michael O'Leary gets the same vote as some 18-year-old dickhead who failed junior cert CSBE. That's the true horror of democracy. And that's why these politicians end up as like vague, translucent blobs. Do you think they want to fucking jive in small local shops in fucking Monaghan? No, they don't. They're normal people. But you force them to do this shit. You force them to be fake because they have to be likeable to an electorate. From 18-year-old Reddit incels to 8-year-old housewife women, they have to seem reasonable. And so they end up being nothing. If 51% of the country had taken part in the riots last year, Simon Harris would be joyriding a 46A as we speak. I don't think you should vote for the far-right parties. Do what you want, of course, but I think immigration's overall a good thing. We need workers, and Irish people stopped breeding in the 1990s. And as we all know, this is due to the much reported on unfuckability crisis amongst Irish men. Irish women don't want to hear a guy complaining about the cost of living crisis. It's not really a turn-on, because you're admitting to being poor. So instead, what they do now is they just buy a dog, and they kind of dress it up in a Christmas jumper and they put it in a pram and they walk it around Rathmines pretending it's not completely fucking psychotic and pretending that they've decided not to have kids as a conscious fucking choice or something. And also what Irish people are doing is emigrating. And again, they'll say that they're emigrating because of the cost of living crisis. You're moving to Australia because you want to have fun. Like, it's okay to admit that you're not thinking about interest rates when you're banging birds on Bondi Beach. I'm showing you this clip here because I think it's quite funny. An immigrant on an RT political show tells the Irish government that there is too much immigration.
Why are we letting so many immigrants in when we don't have space to house them?
So that's your question. Can I just ask you, weren't you one of those 19,000 people who were here on a student visa at the moment?
Yes.
So people might say, why are you asking this question as an immigrant yourself?
And first of all, this is an astounding response. This is a major issue that we are facing with humanity. This presenter's first instinct is to go, why are you asking? You're an immigrant. Why do you have a viewpoint that may not necessarily benefit you personally? Are you thinking critically over there? Are you actually capable of forming an objective opinion? And this stupidity is only trumped with the actual response from Helen McEntee.
And I think that we need inward migration to make sure that whether it's building the houses that we need at the moment, whether it's providing the essential services.
We need more immigrants to build all the houses that all the immigrants that we're bringing in need to live in. So obviously we need more immigrants. Here's what I would do if I was in government. I would ban Christmas. I am sick and tired of this liberal, secular country, which is what 90% of the population are, donning this spiritual blackface for 6 to 10 weeks a year and totally appropriating Christianity. Piss or get off the pot. Like, do your own fucking thing. Do some pagan bullshit in June or something. Secondly, what I would do is cancel the deposit return scheme. The deposit return scheme is where you can return a plastic bottle and you get 15 cents back. I'm all for the environment. What I'm not all for is Roma gypsies rooting through my bins at 3 a.m. And thirdly, what I'm concerned about is the corporate tax rate and Trump's possible undercutting or matching it, therefore driving all of the American enterprise out of Ireland. Here's my way of dealing with that. I consider Ireland's corporate tax rate, bequeathed to us by St. Charlie McCreevis in 1997, a sacred and holy aspect of Irish heritage. The fact that Trump threatens to appropriate Irish culture by matching or undercutting it is incredibly offensive, especially because of the famine. So you just have to lay on the guilt. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching News of the Week. I'll see you soon.